Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This feels incredibly weird to be filming because frog in my throat. It's been about a month since I filmed. I took the entire month of May off of filming so that I could enjoy my wedding. Yes, I recently got married. I have my little bride pajama shirt on. Yeah, I'm wearing pajamas. But basically I just got out of the shower and it's time for makeup, so I figured we can play with some new stuff. So right before I left, I received this giant PR package from Covergirl. Covergirl has been so generous lately and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to try out some of their new products. So this is their brand new foundation. It's their TruBlend Matte Made Foundation. And apparently it's supposed to be this like amazing miracle foundation. I'm gonna move this really quick just because this box is really heavy. Oh, okay. Whew, it's really heavy. It's like 20 pounds, I think is what the shipping thing said. So anyways, I want to show you guys what's inside the box because I really like this PR package. It's really nicely packaged. So here's what it looks like. It's actually really cool. There's swatches on the mirror inside so you can kind of match yourself. There is 40 different colors of this foundation, you guys. That's crazy. That is a really, really good variety. They did such a good job at making sure that every single person can find a shade in this foundation. Here's what the marketing looks like. And then, I posted this on my Instagram, but here is what the foundations look like. So they sent me all 40 shades. The ladies at work are gonna be so excited because once I pick my color, I'm gonna bring the extras to work and make sure that everybody in my office can look beautiful with this new foundation. They also sent me their 4 new primers. So there's an illuminating primer, a pore minimizing primer, a color neutralizing primer, and a skin smoothing primer. So I wonder what the difference between this one and the pore minimizing one is. I'm not really too sure. Anyways, so the color selection is humongous. They have lights, they have medium, they have tan, and then they have deep. And basically this foundation is supposed to be just like this amazing, like do-it-all foundation. So it says it works for all skin types, inspired by people that gave feedback, which is really good. Inclusive of all skin needs. It's made to minimize pores, control shine, feel comfortable on your skin, stay put for 12 hours. There's 40 shades, light, medium, tan, and deep, warm, cool, and neutral undertones, which I can definitely attest to. You can tell just by looking, I know you guys can't see, but like all the different undertones are definitely accounted for. So it's oil-free, it's transfer resistant, it's pore minimizing, and it's all day comfort wear. So basically, it's supposed to be this miracle foundation. Oh, here's what the primers are. So skin smoothing will smooth skin for perfect canvas. Color neutralizing takes away redness. Pore minimizing reduces pores, blurs pores, and mattifies skin. And then illuminating makes you look hydrated, illuminated, yada, yada. So I'm really excited to try this out. I don't have anything on my face yet. I wanted to kind of, you know, do that part with you guys. Actually, that's a lie. I did prime my eyelids and I did my skincare. So I did like, you know, my moisturizer and serums and stuff like that. So I think I'm gonna start out with some primers. I don't need the color neutralizing or the illuminating. My skin is pretty oily as is. But I do really like the idea of a pore minimizing and the smoothing, although these seem very similar. I'm gonna try both of them. So the pore minimizing looks like it's this purple color. So my mirror is right here. I'm just gonna stick it on top of the box. There we go. It smells really fresh. It smells almost like a moisturizer. It smells really nice. It's kind of on the thicker side, which makes sense because it's pore filling, and usually pore filling primers are on the thicker side. This reminds me a lot of the Smashbox pore minimizing primer, like a lot. And I think because it's purple, it kind of has a little bit of a brightening effect too, which is nice, you know, like the whole color correcting thing. So definitely slightly reduced the appearance of my pores. I have some pores right here. I mean, the purpose of a pore filling primer is it literally fills in your pores with the product, and it looks like it's doing that. I mean, I could still see my pores, but they're a lot better than they were before. And then the smoothing one I'm gonna put all over my face. It smells the same. It smells the same. This one is a little bit more like slippery feeling, maybe. It has a different texture, that's for sure. It's less thick and yeah, a little bit more, I guess, slippery is the only word I can think of right now. So there we go. I don't know how much this foundation is going to cost, but I will say other CoverGirl foundations are in the $10 range, just depending on where you purchase it at. So I know sometimes like drugstores can be a little bit more expensive, Walmart's a little bit cheaper, but the one that I currently have for CoverGirl that has the blue pump on it, I want to say it was like maybe $10 or $11, and I got it at Walgreens. So that will be the same, I'm sure this will be the same price. So, okay, I'm definitely in the light section. I wish I can show you guys. Let's see, it's just so heavy, so it's so hard for me. Ah! Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. It's just a little bit too heavy. But I'm looking at the colors and let's see. I'm gonna try a couple. Light 15 might work for me. This is the second lightest one. I feel like sometimes I end up going too light and then my face looks like super ghostly. So I'm gonna swatch this one on. This is a cool undertone. And the only reason I know that is because I'm looking at them all next to each other. So that's a cool undertone. L70 is also a cool undertone and it's a little bit darker. Maybe L60. L60 looks like it's more on the neutral side. So I might try these two. You know what? I'm gonna try L70. It's kind of hard. No, I'm not gonna do L70. I'm gonna try 15 and 60. There's 4 colors in between these two, but these are the two like cool colored ones. Like this is the lightest cool, and this is the second lightest cool undertone. If you don't know, cool undertone is like pink undertoned, which is what I am. Although this one's a little bit more neutral. It looks, well, okay, it doesn't really matter. I can use a neutral undertone, but most of the time I go for cool undertones. So, and that goes for all of them. So the medium skin toned has the same, like I can see like this one, M10 is like super duper yellow. You know what, I'm gonna show you guys. Let me just pull the camera off and show you guys. Okay, so here is the color selection. So lights are on top, mediums are right there, then we have tan, and we have deep. So you can tell, I mean with the deep it's really obvious, the different undertones. So you have like your neutral undertone, your warm undertone, and then your cool undertone. You can tell that this has a little bit more of a yellowiness to it, and you can definitely see like the variety of skin tones here. I mean that it goes pretty dark over here. And then same thing with the tan. So you can see some of them have a more pinky undertone, some of them are more yellow or neutral. So it definitely covers pretty much every single skin tone. I mean, they did such a good job. So medium, same thing. And then here's the light ones, which is what I am. So this is what I was saying. So the second lightest color, L15, has a pinky undertone. I know it's a little bit hard to see on camera, but this one's a little bit more warm, this one's a little bit more neutral, and this one is definitely more pinky. So I'm gonna grab this one to swatch on me. And then these both look, I mean, this one might be cool undertoned. I might be able to swatch that one too. I'm gonna swatch that one. This one's definitely more maybe neutral. And then that one's definitely more warm. And then see here, you can see these are the two, L60 and L70. This one's more cool, this one's more neutral, but I think that one might be just a little bit too dark for me. So I'm gonna grab L60 to swatch on me as well. And then you can see that one's definitely warm and that one's definitely neutral. So many to choose from. So the bottles themselves are made of glass, which I think is excellent. I just think it's a little bit more hygienic. I feel like the foundations last a little bit longer, they stay fresher, and I like glass. I feel like it's more luxe feeling. There is 1 ounce in it, which is standard for pretty much all foundations, and there's a pump, which is like, I love pumped foundations. So, okay, I'm just gonna put a line on my face of each one, and then once they dry, we'll see which one matches me the most. So that's L15. The pump also locks, which is nice. So even if you lose your cap, like you can turn the knob and it locks and unlocks. So that's nice. Here's L40. And here's L60. You know what, just for the heck of it, I'm also gonna do L70 because why not? I have the colors, so I might as well swatch it, right? So here is L70 also. It's so interesting to see. So these are still wet, they're not dry yet, but this is a lighter color than these two, but because the undertone is different, so this one's definitely more of a neutral undertone, it looks darker. Just against my skin, it just looks like it's not the right color. It looks darker. So that's 15, 40, 60, and 70. So it's just, I don't know, these two both look like they're neutral undertones, and they just look so much darker than the ones that are actually cool undertones. I actually think L70 might be my shade. I think 15 is maybe just a little bit too light for me. That might make me look a little bit on the ghostly pale side. And then 70 actually might be the winner. Here's a better comparison of 60 versus 70. So this is 60, this is 70. So 70 is definitely more of a pinky undertone, and 60 is definitely more of a yellowy undertone. It's actually more of a neutrally undertone. I wouldn't even say that that's yellow, it's just more neutral. So you can tell against my skin, the cool tones definitely look more appropriate. They blend a little bit better. So I think I'm actually gonna go with 70. I'm really glad that I swatched it. Here's those colors again. 15 is just way too light for me. 40 would probably work in a pinch if I needed it to. 60 is right here. It's kind of smudged. I kind of wiped it off a little bit unintentionally. And then 70, you can see, pretty much disappears into my skin, which is good because that means that it matches. Here's without the ring lights, so you can tell too light, just a little bit off. You can kind of see it, and then 70 pretty much disappears. So I'm gonna use L70. Okay, it looks like a little bit goes a long way with these foundations, so I'm gonna start with 2 pumps. It was actually like 1 pump and then 2 half pumps. I'm hoping that these don't oxidize, because if this oxidizes, it won't match me anymore. Gosh, yeah, this blends into my skin perfectly. And I'm pretty dang fair, so that tells you that they really did a good job at making sure all skin tones were covered, because there's quite a few shades lighter than this one for light skin. And I know sometimes even I have a hard time finding a foundation to match my skin, like one that's light enough. So the fact that there's, you know, 7 shades lighter than this one, that's really nice. They really did a good job. Okay, I'm definitely gonna need more than just those 2 pumps. So I think the Beauty Blender sucks a little bit of it up. Plus, I just like a lot of coverage. So it's blending out really nicely. It's definitely evening out some of my discoloration. I will say I have a zit right here. I'll show you guys a close-up when I'm done putting it on, and I'll turn the ring light off too so you can see it a little bit better. But it's definitely blending out very nicely. Okay, so here's what it looks like up close. I will say it's definitely not a full coverage foundation. I'd say it's probably closer to a medium coverage foundation. You can definitely still see like some of my freckles, like this right here is a freckle. You can see that through the foundation. I have some freckles like over here that you can see very slightly through the foundation. You can see my lovely zit through the foundation. And I have some more like freckles and dark spots right over here that you can just very ever so slightly see through the foundation. But it does overall just like even out your skin tone, and definitely it looks like natural skin, which is what I look for in a foundation anyways, is I don't want it to look heavy. I don't want it to look cakey. I want it to look like my skin. And that's exactly what this does. So far I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm gonna do the rest of my foundation and then the rest of my makeup, and then I'll check in with you guys. I think I'm also going to check in periodically throughout the day to kind of show you how it's wearing. Just so you guys know, if you've never watched any of my foundation wear tests before, my problem areas are my smile lines. So if a foundation settles into my smile lines, it's kind of a deal breaker for me. I have pretty prominent smile lines, so that's one thing that I definitely look for in a foundation. Also, my chin line right here, foundation tends to settle into there. And then I get really greasy right around my nose, and typically like the center of my forehead gets a little bit greasy as well. So those are the areas that I'm going to be looking at when I check in throughout the day, but so far, so good. And usually I can tell kind of right away whether or not I'm going to like a foundation, and Covergirl foundations almost always impress me. I don't want to say I've never tried a bad one, but the past few that I've tried I've really liked, so I am hopeful. Okay guys, so it's been about an hour, maybe a little over an hour since I put the foundation on. I just finished my entire face of makeup, and I have to say my skin looks darker, but it's because I went way overboard on the bronzer today. Like, I didn't realize it until I looked at myself in the viewfinder, and I'm like, ooh, I mean, it's nice because I'm feeling bronzed, but like I went a little overboard. But you can see like the center of my face, my nose, even like this part of my neck. I had to drag the bronzer down my neck because like it was just, it's okay. I get overboard sometimes, but the foundation itself didn't oxidize. I think it looks so incredibly beautiful. I did set it with the powder, but that's because I set every single foundation with the powder. Like, that's just, I have to set my foundations with the powder. I'm too oily, it's too humid outside, like anything will get all greasy on me if I don't set it with a little tiny bit of powder. So other than that, I feel like it looks super duper good. Other than the bronzer, I mean, it looks super duper good. Even with the bronzer, it looks okay. But the foundation itself, it's not settling into my smile lines. So let me zoom you guys in. So you can see my smile lines, nothing has settled in, which is really good. Now granted, I haven't really been talking or anything, I've just been doing my makeup, but smile lines look good, chin line looks good, it's not oily or greasy. I do have some highlighter here. I put some highlighter on the tip of my nose, but other than that, it looks really good. And then my forehead is not greasy at all. So I think it looks really good. It still looks super natural and super pretty, and just, I think I'm really gonna like this foundation. Okay guys, I have 2 minutes of recording time left on this card before it's full, so this final check-in will be quick. It's been about 10 hours since I put the foundation on my face. It still looks really, really good, you guys. I was just looking at myself in the viewfinder in the mirror, and my lipstick stayed on pretty well too. I just got done eating Mexican food, so it was nice and greasy. So I'm using the viewfinder as my mirror in case you're wondering why I'm looking over there. The only place that's a tiny bit shiny, so I did put highlighter on the tip of my nose, but it is a tiny, tiny bit shiny, like right here. Let me zoom you guys in so you can get all up in my face. But it didn't settle into my nose crease, which is good. It's just a tiny bit on the shiny side. I think it looks more like natural glowy rather than like oily though. It did not settle into my smile lines at all, which I am like super, super impressed by, because I filmed 6 videos today, which means I was talking, smiling, laughing a lot, and it did not settle into my smile lines at all, which is very impressive even for even for a high-end foundation to do that, but the fact that this is drugstore, like holy moly. And my chin line looks really good. My forehead is not shiny at all. It also didn't crease into my like eyebrow lines, which usually isn't a problem, but sometimes it is. I mean, overall, this foundation is really, really good, you guys. See, my nose is like a tiny bit shiny. This is highlighter, that is not. So just a little bit, but like this levels up to some of my high-end foundations, you guys. Like this is gonna be heavily thrown into my rotation. I might even wear it on the weekdays like to work because it does seem to be pretty long wearing, and it's more of like a natural coverage instead of like a full coverage, which I think is appropriate for work. So I am impressed, Covergirl. This is really good. And this color was a good choice for me too. So L70 is my like perfect color match. So I can't wait to give this to my coworkers to try out as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this wear test video. If you've tried this before, let me know what your thoughts are down below. And if you haven't tried this before, you totally should. All right guys, 8 seconds left, 7, 6, 5, talk to you later, bye.